Hey, I'm doing this video so I'll remember how to turn my sprinklers on. I got 3 boxes. The big one in the middle is the backflow valve. The one on the left, as I'm facing my house, is the water outlet, the water supply. And the one on the right is a drain valve. So I'm going to open up these boxes and to talk about what to do to turn on my sprinklers. By the way, these boxes have labels on them. Open, which is counterclockwise, closed clockwise. And this has a lift here, but it's a little bit broken, so it doesn't open that easily. Okay, covers are off. It's kind of hard to see, but here's the water supply. You have to turn that with there you can see it. You have to turn that with one of those long handled 2-prong things that you turn on sprinklers. To turn it on is counterclockwise, as you'd expect. Now the other roundy thing has a drainage hole. So if you leave that, oh yeah, you can see that. So that should be closed, meaning it runs perpendicular to the pipe, the little blue thing. If it runs in line with the pipe, the water will just drain out. So they leave that in drain mode when they turn it off for the winter. So to turn it on in the summer or the spring, that should be perpendicular to the pipe. And this, on this side, needs to be turned on counterclockwise, just like turning on old-fashioned sprinklers. And then there's 2 handles here in the backflow valve. Now these are in an on position. These would be in an off position. The one on the left is the water supply. The one on the right allows the water to go out of the backflow valve and over potentially to the drainage hole or to the valves. And now I'll go to the valves and talk about them. Before I get to the valves, one more thing on the backflow valves. There are these drain cocks that need to be set so they're not flowing. And I think, oh yeah, you have to get right down in there. You can see those, so those little screw holes are turned perpendicular so they're not draining. In this case, I don't think they left those test cocks draining. Here's the sprinkler valve box. Notice it has a drain. The little blue handle is a drain pipe. For the winter, they set that to be parallel to the pipe. The blue valve was parallel to the pipe, so it would drain. In the spring, I had to turn it so it's perpendicular to the pipe, so it doesn't drain out and fill that box. And it looks a little dirty in there because it drained out and filled that box. Each of the sprinkler valves, which are the electric things, have a on-off valve, and those are labeled. Yeah, so they're labeled on-off. So I don't know if they left them on. They probably left them on for the winter and they need to be turned off. And there's also a little screw valve which needs to be tightened down in order for the sprinkler to operate. If they're loosened up, the system goes regardless of the valve, on or off of what it's set electrically. The manual valve is off, and then the electrical can turn the valve on. With exactly the same, this is another valve with exactly the same situation. There's only one valve in this opening. You can see it has one drain cock, or one drain valve, and it has the same on-off setting, same wires. So it's turned on electrically from the sprinkler box, turn off to the off position for the manual valve, and tighten down the little screw valve. The little tiny screw valve there. So I think that covers all the many places you need to turn off drain valves and screw valves once your sprinkler's been drained for the winter. I guess you'd open all those things up and tighten down the water valves and the manual valves to set it up for the spring.